Hello, my dear friend. Welcome back to StrongBody Flow, where we share simple yet heartfelt advice to help you live healthier, more meaningful, and more present after 60. At this stage of life, we're no longer chasing things far away. What we long for is often much simpler. A peaceful night's sleep, a clear memory, a warm meal that comforts both the body and the soul. But sometimes, the very things that slowly drain our energy aren't loud or dramatic. They come from tiny habits in our own kitchen. Have you ever left some extra vegetables in the fridge and thought, I'll just reheat them in the morning? Or warmed up yesterday's bone broth just so it doesn't go to waste? These habits seem harmless, but over time, they can quietly introduce compounds that harm your memory, disturb your sleep, and dull your spirit. In today's video, we'll look at 6 healthy foods that most people trust, but when left overnight and reheated the wrong way, can have unexpected effects on your brain, especially for those of us over 60. So if you're someone who wants to eat more safely, gently, and in a way that supports your memory and clarity, take just a few minutes to sit down with me. We'll begin with something very small. But as you'll see, even small shifts in your kitchen can lead to deep and lasting change in your health. Let's begin this gentle journey toward mindful eating and graceful living, right from your own kitchen. 1. Leftover cooked greens, a hidden risk to memory and brain health. Dear friend, there's nothing more soothing than a warm plate of steamed or lightly sautéed greens at dinner. For older adults, vegetables like spinach, bok choy, and kale are gentle on digestion, cooling for the liver, and packed with fiber and vital nutrients. But here's something many people don't realize. Once greens are cooked, letting them sit overnight, even in the refrigerator, can quietly trigger chemical changes that make them less healthy and even harmful to your brain. Why is this dangerous? Dark leafy greens are naturally high in nitrates. When they're left too long after cooking, enzymes and bacteria can convert those nitrates into nitrites, a compound that interferes with red blood cells and how they carry oxygen to your brain. For someone over 60, that matters. It can lead to dizziness, headaches, brain fog, or even confusion, especially if your nervous system is more sensitive than it used to be. And there's more. If reheated multiple times, like in the microwave or stovetop, the natural antioxidants in vegetables break down. Instead of helping you, they may create harmful free radicals that cause low-grade inflammation in your brain and body. Over time, this kind of hidden inflammation can quietly chip away at memory and cognitive function, without you ever suspecting that your healthy vegetables could be part of the problem. So what can you do? The answer is simple. Cook only what you'll eat within 8 to 10 hours. Avoid reheating cooked greens more than once. And whenever possible, choose freshly cooked over leftovers, especially when your goal is to protect your memory. Even the healthiest food loses its healing power when not treated with care. So let your vegetables serve you best by being fresh, warm, and nourishing every single time.
Dear friend, eggs are one of the most common and beloved foods in a healthy diet, especially for older adults. A simple boiled egg in the morning provides high-quality protein to help maintain muscle, along with choline, a nutrient that supports memory and keeps you feeling full longer. But here's where things get tricky. Because eggs are so popular, many people boil a few ahead of time, or save a leftover fried egg from dinner, pop it in the fridge, and heat it up the next day. It seems convenient, but it's not always safe. Here's why. Once eggs are cooked, especially boiled eggs with the shell still on, they start to change. The yolk contains both fats and iron, which are highly prone to oxidation after cooking, especially when exposed to air. This oxidation creates compounds that promote inflammation, not just anywhere, but in the tiny blood vessels of your brain. That can raise your risk of mental fatigue, cloudy thinking, or even memory lapses the next morning. Now, what about fried eggs? Well, frying eggs already involves high heat, which changes their protein structure. Reheating them later breaks those proteins down even further, making them harder to digest. For seniors with a sensitive stomach, this can lead to bloating, acid reflux, or trouble sleeping. And there's another concern: salmonella. If cooked eggs aren't stored properly, especially when left too long in the fridge, they can become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria. For anyone over 60 whose immune system may be more delicate, this can be dangerous. So, what should you do? If you love eggs, and many of us do, the safest and healthiest option is to cook just enough for the day. Avoid saving boiled or fried eggs overnight, especially if they'll be reheated. Eggs are truly nourishing when they're fresh, warm, and minimally handled. It's not about giving up eggs. It's about letting your brain and body receive the best from them without the hidden risks.
3. Leftover cooked mushrooms. Nutritious at first, but can disrupt digestion and sleep. Dear friend, mushrooms are one of the most beloved foods in a healthy diet, especially for those of us over 60. They're low in fat, rich in plant-based protein, full of antioxidants, and provide vitamin D, potassium, and a natural immune-supporting compound called beta-glucan. But here's something many people don't realize. Once mushrooms are cooked, they become extremely sensitive to time and temperature. If you leave them overnight, whether sautéed, in soups, or in stews, they can quietly turn from healing to harmful. Why does this happen? The proteins in mushrooms are uniquely structured and they're fragile. When reheated, especially in the microwave or by boiling, those proteins break down and form compounds that can irritate your digestive system. For older adults, this may lead to bloating, gas, indigestion, or mild stomach pain, even if the dish seemed perfectly fine. There's more. Some studies suggest that leftover mushrooms can generate free radicals, which promote inflammation, especially in people with underlying conditions related to blood vessels or the nervous system. This inflammation can affect your sleep and mental clarity, leading to restlessness at night or that groggy, foggy feeling the next morning. And don't forget, mushrooms hold a lot of moisture. If not stored properly in an airtight container, or if your fridge isn't cold enough, bacteria or mold can grow without any obvious signs. For seniors with the more delicate digestive system, this poses a real risk, even if the mushrooms look and smell okay. So what should you do? If you love mushrooms, and they are wonderful when fresh, try to cook only what you'll eat in one meal. Enjoy them while warm, and avoid reheating leftovers the next day. No matter how nutritious a food is, if it's eaten at the wrong time, it may quietly work against your well-being instead of supporting it. After all, healing isn't just about what we eat. It's about when and how we nourish ourselves, with awareness, care, and a little wisdom from experience. 4. Leftover cooked potatoes, a silent culprit behind brain fog and digestive trouble. Dear friend, potatoes are one of the most beloved comfort foods in American kitchens, especially for older adults. Whether you enjoy them boiled, mashed, roasted, or pan-fried, potatoes are a great source of complex carbohydrates, potassium, vitamin C, and B6. They help manage blood pressure, support your nerves, and keep you full longer. But here's something you may not know. Once cooked, potatoes, if they're left overnight, even in the fridge, can quietly turn from helpful to harmful. Why? When cooked potatoes cool down, their starch begins to change. It becomes something called resistant starch, a type of starch that isn't easily digested. While a little resistant starch can support gut health, reheating potatoes that have sat too long can lead to fermentation in your colon, producing gas and discomfort, especially for older adults with sensitive digestion. Even more concerning, improperly stored potatoes can be at risk for bacterial contamination, especially from Clostridium botulinum. This rare but serious bacteria can produce a toxin that affects your nervous system, leading to symptoms like dizziness, blurred vision, and mental fog. This is more likely if the potatoes were stored at the wrong temperature or in sealed plastic containers without enough airflow. Also, reheating potatoes in the microwave can cause uneven temperatures, hot on the outside, cold in the center, giving bacteria a chance to survive and grow. This might explain why some people feel lightheaded, sluggish, or unfocused after eating leftovers that seemed fine. What's the best approach? If you cook potatoes, try to enjoy them fresh and warm, right after they're prepared. If you must store leftovers, keep them in a clean glass container, eat within 24 hours, and reheat them thoroughly and evenly. But truly, the best option, especially if you're caring for your brain and digestion, is to choose freshly prepared potatoes. It's a small decision, but one that helps keep your mind clear, your stomach calm, and your energy gently balanced for the rest of the day. Because sometimes the little things we do, like choosing fresh food, are what keep us feeling truly alive.
5. Bone broth left overnight. Nourishing but risky if stored improperly. Dear friend, a warm bowl of bone broth, whether made from beef, chicken, or pork, is often seen as a gentle healing food. For many older adults, it's a comforting go-to, rich in collagen, minerals, and electrolytes that support joint health, skin elasticity, and hydration. In the US, bone broth is especially popular during colder months or times of fatigue. But here's something important to know. If bone broth is left overnight and reheated repeatedly, it can quietly become a source of toxins, especially for adults over 60. Why? Bone broth contains a unique combination of proteins, animal fats, amino acids, and minerals extracted from marrow and connective tissue. When it's allowed to cool too slowly or stored improperly, like being left out at room temperature for too long or placed in loosely sealed containers, these nutrients can begin to break down. This creates an ideal environment for harmful bacteria, such as Clostridium perfringens, to grow. This bacterium can cause digestive discomfort, mild diarrhea, and disruptions to the autonomic nervous system, something older bodies are more sensitive to. Even more concerning, if your broth includes ingredients like onions, garlic, or root vegetables, and is stored alongside animal fats, it may undergo oxidation and fermentation. This process can produce toxic amines, substances that may irritate your central nervous system, potentially leading to symptoms like headaches, restlessness, or a sense of heaviness and fatigue the next day. For seniors, these issues can interfere with quality sleep, memory clarity, and emotional balance. I've also seen people store large pots of broth, reheating the same batch for multiple days. While convenient, this habit not only depletes the broth's nutritional value, but also increases the risk of harmful byproducts like free radicals forming, which can silently trigger inflammation over time. So, what's the best approach? If you enjoy bone broth, make only what you'll use that day. If you must store it, divide it into small glass containers with tight lids, refrigerate promptly, and only reheat once before eating. Because even the most nourishing food is only healing when it's used at the right time in the right way, especially when you're caring for your brain, your rest, and your sense of clarity each day. It's a small choice, but for those of us over 60, every small act of self-care can ripple into lasting well-being.
6. Overnight oats. Heart-friendly, but not always gentle on digestion. Dear friend, over the past few years, overnight oats have become a favorite in many senior households across the U.S. It's easy to see why. Just soak rolled oats in almond milk, dairy, or yogurt. Toss in some seeds and fruit and let it chill in the fridge overnight. By morning, you've got a quick, heart-healthy meal that supports cholesterol, weight control, and steady blood sugar. But here's the thing. While this cold oatmeal may be convenient and nutritious, it's not the best choice for everyone, especially older adults with sensitive stomachs. Why? Let's look closer. Oats are a whole grain, rich in soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan. When soaked in a cold, moist environment overnight, especially when mixed with dairy or fresh fruits, light fermentation can begin. This may release small amounts of natural acids and bacteria.
that might be beneficial for younger digestive systems, but for those over 60, it can lead to bloating, mild cramps, sluggish digestion, or even loose stools in the morning. In addition, eating cold foods first thing in the morning when the stomach is still slow to wake up can make digestion even harder. Some of my older patients have told me that after eating overnight oats, they feel neither hungry nor full, just a bit off, with foggy thinking or low energy lingering into the afternoon. That doesn't mean oats are bad, far from it. Oats are one of the best grains for heart and brain health, but how you prepare them makes all the difference. So here's my gentle advice. If you enjoy oats in the morning, try cooking them instead. Warm, soft oatmeal, paired with a few banana slices, a sprinkle of walnuts, and plant-based milk, will be much easier on your digestion and better for memory and clarity throughout the day. Because at our age, it's not just what we eat that matters, but how it makes us feel afterward. A warm bowl of oats can still offer the same nutrition, but with more comfort, peace, and balance for your body.
Dear friend, growing older isn't just about slowing down. It's about learning to live more gently, to listen to your body with love, and to embrace the simple things that bring peace. And sometimes, all it takes is a small change, like choosing not to save leftover greens, avoiding reheated eggs or bone broth, to give your body the deep rest and quiet healing it truly needs. If today's video brought you helpful insights, please don't hesitate to click the subscribe button so you won't miss the upcoming gentle, meaningful content from StrongBody Flow. Every day, I'll continue to share easy-to-understand tips, grounded in kindness and clarity, to help you live well, live with dignity, and feel a deeper sense of purpose after age 60. Oh, and don't forget to tap the little bell icon on the lower right corner of your screen. That way, you'll be the first to know when new videos arrive, and you'll continue to walk with us on this journey of slower, softer, more wholehearted living. Your likes, your shares, your comments, they are what keep this channel alive and growing. They remind me that we are never walking this path alone. See you in the next video, my friend.